Maybe internet will work tonight. We're
Yeah.
live. All right, what's up, guys? It's Prepared Citizens. Once again, I'm here with Bobby Bama,
Howdy,
and
everybody.
he took a combat carbine fundamental class with me today, and we're just gonna talk about that. And I don't know, hopefully, if anybody else has any questions about taking a class or maybe something you learn, we'll talk about that.
Absolutely.
Look at there. There's ACR,
Yeah, the man, the legend.
the man himself.
That's it.
What's up, man? Alpha Charlie. What's going on, brother? I guess we'll let a couple people get up in here. Demo Man Don,
He's
Tommy's
jealous.
Path.
He's
What's up?
jealous. He he said he was.
Always. He always
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna try to look fancy here. Turn the banner on.
Ooh.
Look at
I started to tell you I was
that.
going to have to let you go that Prepared Citizens was on live. I had to go catch it, but never mind.
And then here you are. You caught me.
Yeah, yep, I got you.
Well, everybody, hope y'all are doing well tonight. Um, First off, is anybody else taking any rifle classes lately? I know it's definitely a let's see, a commitment, I guess we'll say, because about everywhere I've ever trained anyway, you got to pay for the class, you got ammo, you got gear, you got time away, place to stay, things like that. So I get it. Not everybody's doing it all the time, but it is good to get out and do that, you know, every now and then. Brush up your skills. Tommy's Pass said he took 1 month ago. Cool. Oh man, Alpha Charlie, get off my lawn. We don't need no stinking classes.
Hey,
Mm. Tommy's Pass said he tries to get in 3 a year if possible. That's what I told who's I talking? I think it was Red Dawn the other day in a live. That's what I was telling him. Which I tell people it's solely dependent on your budget. You know how many you do a year. If I mean shit, you can do one every month, do it. But for me personally, it's been about 3 a year.
Hmm.
Well, Bobby Bama, um, with what would you say your skill going into it was versus how you felt at the end of it today?
Well, to be honest with you, I knew what an AR-15 was. That pretty much limited my real knowledge. No, really, I mean, I'm aware of the platform. I'm aware of the gun. I had never actually fired one before today. I own
Okay.
several, and I'd never actually fired one today. Never actually loaded one. Never actually did a magazine change before today. All the things that we went through today, it was like my introduction to it. I have a Mini 14, as I told you, that I have shot on occasions, and so I was thinking along those similar lines. But what I learned today, it while it is similar, it's completely different as far as you know fit and function and stuff like that. So my skill level, I would say I was barely a noob, just knew how to hold one and where to buy the ammunition and put the ammunition in the hole. But past that point, I pretty much was was a piece of clay to be molded today.
That's actually pretty good. I would say you know a student that shows up, kind of like an empty cup versus one that's 3/4 full, thinking uh, I guess they know a lot more.
Yeah,
It's harder to, if they got training scars or something, you got to work through that. Versus
right,
you just kind of learn
right.
it the right way right off the bat.
That's right. And
That's pretty cool.
I, old habits are hard to break. And today it was just learning the new habits to remember. Okay, put your hands here. Do this, do that, and yeah. So it was definitely a learning experience for me.
That's good. There's Justin B and Grit and Grace.
There you go.
Um, yeah, I know you said you were new to it. I didn't know you were that new to it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I wasn't trying to brag about how new I was, but it was going to be very painfully obvious after a few minutes on the range how limited my skills were. I have more experience in handguns than I do in long guns. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, you got the law enforcement background.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
let's see. Yeah, after we got your rifle zeroed and everything, the I know you said the sight over bore. That was a
yeah,
interesting thing to learn.
yeah. It was a. I mean, intellectually, I think I knew it all along, but to see it on paper,
Yeah,
to have it described to you is one thing, but for you to go, okay, shoot here, all right, now go up here and do this and see what happens. And it was like, oh wow, and so yeah,
yeah,
that was an eye opener for me. It sure was.
yeah. I remember being taught that in the mount school in the infantry. That
Mm,
was it was I was the same way when I first found that out too. It was one of those things you kind of know it, but I guess once you start doing it and seeing it on paper, you're like, oh wow, okay,
yeah,
that's something you definitely got to learn and keep in your brain
right,
when you're going from long distance to short distance.
right. Well, and like I said out there today, I'm a visual learner. I do better when I can see it, when I can put the practical application behind it and make, one and one make two. And that today was just, I mean, again, intellectually, I think I knew it. I think I understood it from reading about it and hearing people talk about it. But man, to see it like that, it was like, whoa.
Yeah. Um, I know your favorite part was the malfunctions, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, those were loads of fun, especially that MFR,
Oh yeah,
it,
yeah,
it was unbelievable. Just how, how bad it could be. And I was explaining
yeah.
it to my wife a little earlier, and she's like, "You can make those things do that?" And I'm like, "Jay can. I can't. I know how to fix them, but it may take me a while,
You
but
know,
I'll fix them."
I got to thinking about that on the way home today. I couldn't remember the first example. Like I know it never happened to me personally, but there was a guy on my team that it happened to, and I was trying to remember, you know, how it happened, but I finally remembered it. He was actually we were in a little house shooting out of a window. And what happened was that empty shell casing bounced off the wall and back into that dang ejection port is how it
Oh
happened.
wow.
As I guess right as the bolt was cycling, and that was how that happened.
Damn. What a
So
stroke of luck or
yeah,
unlucky,
I'm telling you, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather win the lottery than that happen in
Yeah.
a gunfight. But
Yeah.
I guess some of us get that kind of luck.
Yeah, well, trust me. That's why you want to be on the other end of the building when we're in a gunfight together,
Right.
because you can have
But
one
yeah,
bounce from the other end of the building to me.
yeah, I will say, a lot of people, I feel like that's really skipped over is malfunction clearing and
Yeah.
things and like knowing what to do immediately.
Yeah, I can honestly say I've seen a few YouTube videos on it, but nothing to that extent that we went through today, using the multi-tool and doing all the things that we did.
Yeah,
Again, just another use for a multi-tool,
I know you got to learn the real reason I carry a
Yeah,
multi tool.
yeah, that's right. And don't put your finger in there.
Yeah, we can't say what we're thinking about that on YouTube,
Boy,
but
I'm telling you.
yeah, don't do it, guys.
Yeah,
And
that boo.
ACR, do what?
I said the boo-boo kit wouldn't have been big enough.
Oh, I know. ACR, we're not talking about the double feed. That's a Type 3. We're talking about the Type 4, or as some like to call it, the Type fuck. It's very bad. It's a bolt override. And yes, they do happen. Rarely, but they do.
And you just wouldn't think that something that size could get on the other side of that bolt like that. You're like,
Oh, I know. I would
and you,
say the Type 4 for an AK malfunction is even worse. Like you have to remove that little dust cover off the back of it behind the bolt
oh yeah,
to clear it. It's crazy. I don't even know how that
mm,
happens. But
yeah,
I've been told by very competent dudes that it has happened. So I believe
yeah,
them. But yeah, it was pretty cool getting to see you from when we started to toward the end when we was running those final drills
yeah,
to just how you was just running through the malfunctions like it wasn't nothing then. That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Well, I certainly appreciate your patience and understanding that going into this thing, I was completely virgin, so to speak, and it was like, and I kept thinking, any minute he's going to go, okay, it's over with. You need to get the hell off my range, but you didn't. You were very patient with me.
Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, I would say if you're going to teach anything, you better have some patience. But
Yeah,
this
no
is
doubt.
kind of stuff I really enjoy teaching people, and I try to do it as thoroughly as I can. So
Well,
yeah, if you
I had about a 2 hour and 15 minute ride home, and I thought about it all the way home, and I was thinking, because you kept asking me, is there anything else? You got any other questions? Because you were very gracious with your time about letting me ask all these questions, and some of them I'm sure you're like, could you find a dumber question to ask? But you certainly didn't let me know if you did. But I thought about it all the way across there, and I really can't think. Now tomorrow morning I may wake up and go, here's three. But I can't
yeah
think of anything, that we didn't cover. That where I feel like I could go out and run that AR, and be competent to operate it, and for the most part, clear the malfunctions.
yeah, that's pretty awesome. And now you got some stuff to work on at home too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I was already thinking about that. I don't want any of my neighbors looking in my office window with me with my AR in hand. They think I'd lost my damn mind.
Oh man, Demo Man Don, he said Jay knew I was a friggin' noob. You did good, Demo Man.
Yeah,
You did good, man.
and I just want you to know, Demo, that was the first duty weapon, first duty semi-automatic weapon I carried was that Model 59.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were talking about your pistol demo.
I saw it on the video and I was like, that's got to be a 59.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome demo. Honestly, that you showed up with that.
Yeah,
Because I mean, a lot of people get this impression like you got to go buy something new, the nicest, latest, and great. Like, dude, that ain't what this is about. This is about learning to use what you got. You know what I
that's
mean?
right.
Like getting efficient with what you have. And if that's what you got, rock it, dude. It's gonna. I mean,
Yeah.
you can be just as good as anybody.
Yeah.
Literally, that's a good. That's a very good pistol you got. So
And if it's just one you're comfortable with, I mean, that was the way it was in law enforcement. We didn't get issued guns. That's how long ago I was in law enforcement, and so we could pretty much pick and choose anything we wanted, and nobody ever worried about compatible calibers and stuff. And it's a whole different time in law enforcement. But and that was always what our firearms instructors, even in the academy, is find the weapon you're comfortable with. And I mean,
Yeah.
we had a guy that did probably half his career with a bull barrel Model 10 Smith and Wesson, and he was good with it, and he was very efficient. So
Yeah, those
you're
are extremely accurate guns. I will say Demo was very accurate. He was
mm,
very accurate. So he was a good shooter. We got Scoot in here now. Can you see the comments, Bobby?
I can't no.
Okay, so we got let's see, Lightning Scott. We got where is he? Tommy's back. We already knew he was Scoot. There he is, Scoot. We got Scoot in here. I thought I saw him.
I
And
see Alpha Charlie when you posted that to the
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
um Tommy's past said he got made fun of for using a Glock 19 Gen 3. Oh my gosh, you don't have the latest generation.
Yeah, it's
That's so
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's like we were talking about the equipment stuff. I run a Condor Recon chest rig, and to hear people tell it I should have died when I stepped out of the car and put it on, because it's not the best, latest, and the greatest. Now, if I made my living doing what we did today, that might be a different story. But for my needs, it'll rock me a long time.
Yeah, you talking about your Condor?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
chest
that's a
rig.
good rig, man. That's a good rig. Just uh, just put some miles on it. When you get used to it, it don't matter what you buy. Like me and you talked about earlier, it does not matter what brand, how much you spend. You gotta break it in.
That's right.
So
That's right.
what's up, Rip Curl Readiness? How you doing, brother? And ACR meant to say thank you earlier. He said he was glad we had a good day of training.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun, man. It was hard. It was horrible weather.
Oh, it was terrible.
Absolutely horrible.
Yeah, yeah,
That's right, Grace. Run what you bring.
yep.
Um, yeah, the weather was for our area. It was pretty chilly today,
It
actually,
was. It was.
especially for May.
Yeah,
Holy cow!
and it got colder during the day. You know.
I know that was
It's
wild, man. It was oh man.
yeah,
No demo. My camera person wasn't there today. It was just me. So that's why we got that. All we got was that one measly picture of us.
yeah. Rest of the time we were sitting in the car drinking. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
We drank 2 beers before each drill.
yeah. No, not really. But
Oh man, the
mm,
gun community's gonna go nuts over that one.
yeah, exactly. YouTube. We were just
No.
playing. Yeah, we were just playing.
Yes, we learned safety with beer and guns.
Yes, exactly.
It's just a
I
joke,
learned better
guys.
drink. Yeah,
It's just y'all
that's
chill out.
that's right. That's right. Well,
Oh man, we shoot first and then we drink. We
that's
don't we
right.
don't mix those two.
Don't mix the two. That's exactly right.
I'll say going from a pistol to like an especially an AR platform because as you saw today, one side you got your mag release, one side you got your bolt catch and release. So
Yeah,
you're kind of flip flopping the gun to do certain things. Um, it's it's kind of another animal when you're learning to like keep your muzzle in the right area and your finger off the trigger. Because the weight of the
yeah,
gun. That's a lot of people don't even think about that. That's not
yeah.
done stuff like that. That's a
Right.
learning curve right there.
It is. It is. And like you and I talked about, I found myself having to look for the bolt release, and I looked for this and looked for that, and I'm like, and you're like, it'll come. Just
Yeah.
practice. You can do that during your dry fires. You can do all this, that, and the other. But having come from basically shotguns and pistols, I was used to just being able to see what I was doing. I mean, I
Right.
could hold the pistol up, drop the drop the magazine out of the pistol and feed another one in there. Well, you could see that right there. Well, here you're manipulating your ball cap, the rain gear, all the stuff that we had on, and then not, and still not being 100% sure I was touching the right thing.
Yeah.
Um, it was an learning experience. It sure was.
Yeah, Lightning Scott, he said it'll be second nature.
Yeah,
Um,
I hope
yeah,
so.
especially more you dry fire and do like you can practice your reloads and stuff at home.
Yeah.
It'll just start getting easier and easier. I know, like when I teach pistol classes, and I'm not picking on anyone, but I can tell just right off the bat like who does a lot of dry fire, like
Hmm.
how they run their slide and just hold the pistol and things like that.
Right. Right.
It's it definitely gets you more familiar
Sure.
with everything.
Absolutely. And I mean, we did that, or I did that back in the day with pistols, when most of us translated over to semi-automatics. I would sit in my living room chair, and dropping. Of course, I was so broke then, and you was like, don't break one, don't, don't mess one up, because I couldn't afford to go buy another one, and the city sure wouldn't buy it. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I was pretty fortunate in the military when we would break things, I would just take it to the armor and be like, "Hey, I broke this." And they'd be like, "All
yeah,
right, give me a little
yeah.
bit."
Well, that's kind of how I felt about you today. When I break this, you got to help me fix it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like we did pretty good keeping everything
yeah.
operating good.
Just love it when that magazine drops nose down with the rounds buried in the mud.
Oh,
That's
oh yeah. I'm gonna do a video on magazine maintenance.
yeah. I'll need
I'm
it
gonna do
after
that.
today.
I've got a couple I need it for too.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. I saw a comment a while ago from Robert Ham. Good to see you, brother. I gotta email you back, Robert. He sent me an email, and I liked it. I'm
Hmm.
probably gonna take him up on the offer. He's gonna help me out with some IV bags.
Huh. Very nice.
Yeah, 'cause I like the ones you can refill. I put water in them or something, and then I'll use them on my trainers. And that'll teach people how to stop the bleed in different ways. Good gracious.
Hmm.
Let's see. Tommy's path. I don't include my sidearm for my Minuteman kit. Can I ask everyone's thought about this? Yeah, I don't include a sidearm on my Minuteman kit. I am a rifleman.
Hmm.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm not saying not to, but that's just me. And I would say, me and you talked about this a little bit earlier today. If I did keep my sidearm on me, it would be in an EDC position
Hmm.
where if I had to, take off my kit or whatever and like, I don't know, say go amongst other people that don't know what I'm doing, I want to look normal as possible. So,
Yeah.
um, I would say to keep something like that maybe.
Yeah. I agree with that, because you might have to go gray man or something
Yeah.
and get in amongst the folks.
Yeah. But as far as like normal Minuteman kit on my excuse me, on my property where I'm not going to be getting off my property or going anywhere. I'm just doing a perimeter patrol or something. I'm not going to carry a pistol. So, it'll definitely depend on, what you're doing, your situation. Okay. Robert's telling me that I'll have to I don't know. I'll email you, Robert. We'll figure out something. We'll figure out something on the IV bags. Yeah, Robert, everybody's been praying for your wife, man.
Yeah. Sure
That's
have.
good. That it seems like uh oh, she's home. He said she's home now. That's good.
Yeah.
Excellent. So that's good. Prayers are working. Looks like that's headed in the right direction. That's real good.
It is great news.
Whew. I got spoilt on my what is it? Peanut butter whiskey. That stuff tastes good. It's like candy.
Yeah.
This stuff tastes a little bit more like whiskey.
Hmm. Which one is that?
This is the salted caramel.
Oh yeah, I've
I
had
don't
that
do the
before.
super hard stuff anymore.
Yeah.
I do the sissy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
ACR told me he's going to send me a bottle of something though. I don't remember what it
Oh
was.
shit. Damn. I had a 151 in my truck for you. Damn. I
You know,
forgot
my
to give it to you.
my go-to was my favorite when I was, you know, probably not the best person was Wild Turkey 101. That
That's
stuff
what
it
I.
seemed to work.
That's what I.
It
Yeah.
it
That's what
worked
I
pretty
had in my
quick.
truck. That's what I had in my truck. Not 151. The 101.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking when you said 151, I
Yeah.
was thinking
No.
about how that 101 would kick my ass. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, a 151 would.
No. I was thinking of
Oh
something
man.
else. But yeah. It it's in my truck.
Uh-oh, Kentucky's Stamble Living's here, Jason. He's brought the pride flags with him. Everybody respect him for what he does. We're not going to
So.
judge him. That's his choice, and we're not going to make fun of him. So
Uh,
y'all be respectful.
that's funny.
Oh, Scoot said, I thought it was wife beater Saturday. No,
Uh,
Scoot, we're preparing for Mother's Day. We got to act right tonight.
yeah. Has to be pictures. Has to be pictures tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, we're horrible. I hope my
Mm.
wife ain't watching. Watch her pop up in here in a minute.
Yeah.
It was a it was a joke. Y'all gonna see me with a black eye tomorrow.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh man.
mm. Yeah, Mr. Prepared to
Goodness
be pop knotting you.
gracious.
Yeah.
Whew. Yep. I shouldn't have bought that new cast iron this year because it hurt like hell.
She gonna break it in, all right.
Oh man. Yeah, she has been buying cast iron, so I do
Yeah.
gotta watch out there.
Mm. That's we're bad.
Robert Ham said I got to Nashville at 8:50 this morning, and we finally got home around 7:15 tonight. Well, I'm glad y'all were home, but that sounds pretty typical for a hospital about them waiting all day.
Yeah. I think that must be where the army learned to hurry up and wait.
Oh god, I hated that. I hated that. That was
But
horrible.
as you know, I was just a dependent for 16 years, and I mean, it even affected us. You're going to Germany. No, you're not. You're going here. Okay. Well, you're just going to stay where you are. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it was so, man, it was criminal pretty much. I remember after infantry school, they were like, where would you like to be stationed? They're like, it's not a guarantee, but just where would you like to be stationed? Like if you had your top three choices. And I was like, honestly, it don't matter to me as long as I'm stateside. I just don't want to go overseas, like to be stationed somewhere. And they were like, okay, well, Germany it is. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
What? I'm like,
yeah,
you're kidding me.
yeah.
Ah, so if
All right.
for any youngsters that's going in the military, if they ask you that question, tell them the opposite of what you
Mm,
want.
yeah,
Don't actually tell them what you want because they
yeah.
don't care. Did you see ACR's comment?
I didn't. Oh, let me
What do you
see.
tell prepared C with two black eyes? Nothing. His wife told him
His wife
twice.
told me twice. That's awesome.
Good one, Coasty. Good one,
Yeah,
Coasty.
that is
Scoot
good.
said touche.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Why you
Good
don't?
gracious.
That's why you don't marry a woman that shoots well. You know, you don't get second chances with that. But
Yeah, after I started showing my wife how to shoot, and then I sent her the tactical response, and then she's like really good, and I'm like, what the
mm,
hell am I doing? I
yeah,
probably should have thought about that before I did all
exactly.
that. No, I think it's good to have a spouse that knows how to at least,
Yeah,
at bare minimum.
and will. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're out in public or something, it's nice to have it's nice for someone to have your back.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was always the thing that amazed the guys that I worked with because my wife shot in competitions. She was a dispatcher for the police department, and they're like, "You've seen her on the pistol range. You're really gonna marry her?" You know, and I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You better hide the bullets." You know, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
They're like, you do realize she could put one like right between your eyes if she wanted
Exactly.
to.
Yeah. My patrol sergeant, he said, just remember, zig and zag, zig and zag. I'm like, okay.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah.
Robert said I missed out on a lot overseas.
Mm.
Maybe some of it I'm glad I missed out on.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of that's still given, I think. You
Yeah,
know.
ACR went to great depths for that one.
Yeah.
That's what Scoot said.
Oh yeah. Mm.
Oh goodness.
Oh, that's funny.
What do any of you guys have questions about training or anything, or anything about the class, or want to tell us about anything you guys have been up to?
Dream shot.
Oh, Robert, talking about the ugly side of humanity.
Mm.
Man, I tell you, there was a little bit of it in Romania. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. The
Mm.
juicy stuff. I will say, the Rangers, if you're any kind of special operation, you get to see the really, really juicy side of humanity. I was just a, I was just a grunt. Uh, yeah, one of my buddies took a round right through the bicep, and it happened like I don't know how but it missed like bone and everything. It just zipped right through AK round.
Wow.
And man, I tell you, talk about lucky. It was. I mean, it sucked. He got shot, but just how he got shot was pretty awesome. How it didn't like permanently mess anything up. And talk about scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought it was a bee sting. He didn't even realize he'd been shot. He really didn't.
Mm.
He had no idea. It was somebody else. It was like, holy shit, you been shot, man. Like you got shot. Oh man, I tell you what. Everybody was like, damn,
Yeah.
damn, he's lucky.
Should have got your supplies from Prepared Citizen. You know.
Man, I said, prepared citizens wasn't even thought about back then.
I understand.
But he should have played the lottery for sure.
Yeah.
After that,
No
that would
kidding.
have been a good time. Yeah, and then it sucked. I missed out on the Afghanistan deployment. I got injured right before it, and then come to find out, my squad leader and my medic got killed.
Mm.
That was pretty rough. That's probably one of the biggest regrets in my life is not like just how God played things out, and I didn't, get to be there with them. That's always been a kind of a, I guess, a regret how that happened. But yeah, I broke my shoulder in some
Mm.
training, and no idea, didn't get to deploy with them. That's that was pretty tough when you train for a long time with these guys, and then that happens.
Yeah.
It was pretty. I will say I struggled with that for a while. I struggled with that,
Mm.
but we got through it. We just gotta accept that God has this weird way. He's got this plan already set out, and it's way above our pay grade.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. And there's a
like,
reason. So now you're here. So
yeah,
doing
yeah,
what you do,
yeah.
teaching some old guy how to shoot an AR-15.
Hey man, it's awesome.
It really was. I'm I'm sitting here just thinking back and I mean, just all the things. Because I mean, you and I've met several times, and we've had many conversations over the
Yeah,
months, and it wasn't like I didn't feel comfortable being around you. It was just not knowing what I didn't know, and
yeah,
then trying not to look like a complete goober, but yet realizing that it wasn't going to take anybody very long that had any knowledge of guns or AR-15s that I had no idea what the hell I was doing, and and then to walk away from there going, well, I feel really fairly confident, that I could at least hold my own, um,
yeah. That's awesome.
and now I just need more practice and repetitions and all that, and I think I would feel really good, 100%.
Yeah, you'll get there. Yeah, no doubt, you'll get there.
I won't try.
Yeah, I know. Like, I try to. I know a lot of people do like eight or well 2 8-hour days, like 16-hour classes. And I tell you, and I've taken those classes, and man, that's a lot of commitment. Like 2 days
Oh
back to
yeah,
back. So I guess I was just trying to come up with something where I try to do, you know, 6 to 8 hours, and I teach people as much as I can, like the core stuff, I guess, in that time,
right.
and let let them uh, practice a lot of it on their own, like marksmanship. I mean, you can go to a range and practice marksmanship all day, like
That's right.
as long as you
Yep.
got your shooting fundamentals down,
Right.
you can practice that whenever. But
Well, and that's the other thing I thought about today was, on the way home that there was really no, I mean, and besides the obvious cutting up and joking, and, that sort of stuff, there was no really wasted effort to the whole day because, I mean, when we started, it was the classroom, the safety stuff, that, and then we went to the range and we did, the, the basic stuff and I thought through the whole time, you didn't just belabor any points. You didn't, but you made all the points that needed to be made. You made them again if I didn't listen to them, you know, quite right or take to heed what you were trying to say. And it just was. I don't feel like you know you were just filling space to make a time frame, and you were always there to go, now listen, if you don't know, if you don't understand, let's talk about this. And, we would do that. So, that's one thing that I appreciated about the whole thing. I've been to other courses where it's like the instructor just wants to hear himself talk and those things are drive you crazy. But I mean, I really do feel like from start to finish, including a couple of good jokes, that I learned along the way. but yeah, it was a really cool experience for me.
Well, that's awesome, man. Let's see. Dom VDG said howdy from Alaska.
Ooh,
And
talk about
Dom,
cold.
you know what I'm gonna ask. What's the temperature there?
Yeah.
I'm always asking him what the temperature
Yeah.
is. Tommy's Path. I always wanted to do a patrol class. I tell you what, man. I'm actually, um, excuse me. I don't know if you're close to Florida. My buddy Andrew with Combat Art Training, I think he does patrol classes. I know he has before, and I'm probably gonna get something going like that before long. But I just don't have it on the books just yet. I got a few more things. It's got to happen before I do that one. But yeah, that's definitely something that will be coming. Rip Curl said, "I sure hope God reveals His new plan for me soon." Man, pray about it, brother. That's the best thing to do. Hell, I had to do that for years. I know there's. I think I know everybody's walk is completely different. I'm not trying to say mine's whatever, but I will say when I got home from the military, there was a couple of years after that that was very dark for me. It was very, you know, dealing with a lot of different things after that experience. But but the best thing you can do, man, is pray. Try to get closer to the Lord and just keep pressing forward, man. Just you know, things like that. I know in law enforcement, Bobby, you've probably had your fair share of, you know, hard times emotionally
Yeah. Yeah.
dealing with things too and having to see certain things.
Yeah. It was. I was in a small department and we didn't see all the things, but we saw a lot of things, enough things to make you question humanity and what the hell's wrong with people and that sort of thing. But like you with your medic and all, the, we had three people, including my roommate, was killed in the line of duty within the first year after we graduated, and
Hmm.
that's close to home. Those are guys that, and a female officer. Um, she was killed in a car chase, but the others were shot and killed in domestic disputes, different departments. So it just yeah, it's tough, and you just have to buckle down and go with it. It's all part of
Yeah.
the game, all part of the job, but it doesn't make it any easier. You know.
Yeah, I agree. Have a good one, ACR. He said he's cutting
See
out
you.
for the night.
See you, ACR.
Yeah, yeah, I try to, I remember seeing some guys. Well, like my friend I told you about is in special operations.
Yeah,
Man, I know for a fact that he has seen a bunch, like
yeah,
a bunch. But man, he just, I don't know. It on the outside, it looks like he just handles it so well. He
yeah,
deals with it like a boss. Um, and yeah, I know. Even he's told you can't do everything alone. So
that's right. That's right.
between prayer and hell, even if you gotta talk to somebody, man, you know
Yeah,
that's a good thing too.
without a doubt. Well, and I think too, you just stay based in your faith. You stay based in what you have the ability to deal with, the things that you can control, the things that you don't. And when
Yeah,
at least in my life, when I think I control it, knowing damn good and well I can't control it, that's when it kind of gets out of hand. But if you can keep all that, you know, in front of you and understand, you only do what you can do, and doesn't make it any easier sometimes, but At least it makes
Yeah.
it a little more understandable. At least in my
You know,
way
I
of looking
think
at it.
I think what you just said just a second ago, that was probably one of my biggest the reason I went through such a dark place there for a little while is because, I kept asking God why on certain
Mm.
things, and I kind of got ungrounded there for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I quit putting my faith in Him, and it took a while, but it seems like once I finally did start putting my faith back in Him, things started turning around for me.
Yeah.
But ooh, it was rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be praying for you, Rip Curl.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hope everything goes all right for you, brother. Yeah, Robert said those are the demons that haunt us every night. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I will say there's a few things that I'd be lying if I said it didn't cross my mind every single day, every day. But just gotta remind ourselves, there's a bigger plan out there than ours. So
That's right. Well, and
gotta trust it.
I think those things are put there to remind us, to keep us thinking, you know, um, not to forget or whatever, but it just reminds you that there is a bigger plan. There is a way to deal with these things, and you know, I think sometimes when you try to suppress things, it probably makes it worse. But you
Yeah,
know, we all have to deal with it the way we deal with it.
yeah, I agree. And I will say too, I've always heard too from all kinds of folks that I felt like had more wisdom than me. Uh, it's not the problems that come your way; it's how you deal with them. It's going to
Yeah,
determine how tough you are, how resilient you are, what kind of person you are to others, things like
yeah,
that. And the older I've gotten, I try to, I uh, got some things going on in my life right now. I got one of my very close family members dealing with some pretty serious health issues,
yeah,
and it's just about trusting in God, and you just got to understand this is life, and it ain't
yeah,
always going to be easy, but got to press forward, and we can't let these bad situations let us negatively affect people around us. If
yeah,
that makes sense, we gotta be the best we can be for the people around us.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, I feel you, Robert. I know our experiences were different, but I remember when I first got home, there was a time it was just tough to be around a lot of people. Let's see. Okay, Tommy's past talking to Rip Girl. God gave you a fight that someone else couldn't handle. Keep going, buddy, and believe. Yeah, man. Yeah, I tell you. Uh, and Bobby, I was gonna say if you need to get off here, you let me know
Okay.
how
All
good
right.
how long you're good for.
Yeah, I'm good for another little while. Not
That's
long.
right, she's Bob.
These old bones, they get tired, you
Oh,
know. Yeah.
sorry about that. Something got
Yeah,
in my
it's
voice
okay.
there.
Yeah, it's okay. Uh,
Oh man. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I do not. I'm not telling anyone that I am some perfect Christian or anything like that. I'm
no,
probably
me
not the
either.
one to follow. I'm very flawed, but I do love the Lord, and Jesus did die on the cross for our sins. And we do pray for our people in here. Like you can come to Prepared Citizens Live, and if you say something's going on, you're gonna have a handful of folks praying for you. So
Yep.
we will do that for you.
So were you, not to change the subject, but were you telling me that next weekend you've got another one of these rifle
Yes.
courses
Yeah.
coming up?
Yep. We got another.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And you're welcome to it if you want to.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. If I'm able to get out of bed tomorrow, I'll let you know. Uh,
Oh man.
he kills you, people. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man. I am rough on you. I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
easy on
He said no calisthenics. What the hell?
you.
No PT.
Yeah. Before we start the class, you got to run a mile.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even have driven a mile. But you know how we were talking about that golf cart patrol? Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Andre.
Yes, I'm trying to figure
Appreciate
out how
that.
we can have a uh, mounted position on my golf cart, front and back.
Red Dawn Readiness. What's up, man? How you doing, brother? Uh, Bad Dream said going prone in the mud is the best medicine. That is good medicine. That is
We
good.
talked
We
about it.
didn't actually go prone. I know y'all
Yeah.
be disappointed in us. I wasn't gonna make Bobby do that. Like, guys, I'm telling y'all, when I tell you it was pouring rain, it was fucking pouring rain. Like it was bad. It
Yeah,
was bad today.
it was bad.
So we actually just zeroed off the barrel. it
And
it
if
man, that weather, dude. Did you realize? Or I know you did. Did you notice how much mud and shit was caking up on like your boots and stuff,
oh
and you
yeah,
when you're trying to
yeah.
walk?
Well, when we were getting ready to leave, we were both up there knocking them on trees and
Yeah,
stuff, and I still got out of the car with clumps of mud in my truck when I got home.
yeah, I did too.
Yeah. So
Man, it was funny. On the way home, I stopped by the Shell, topped off the Forerunner, and went in. I get my wife and I time to time we'll drink some Code Reds, and I got her a Code Red,
yeah,
and
peace
all them
offering.
people looked at me so funny when I went in the Shell. I looked like I
Yeah,
just got off of a SWAT raid or something.
I swear, in a hog pen. Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
Oh
it was
man.
it was funny. And I
Yes,
didn't I
Grace.
didn't real.
She said we're having a monsoon down here.
Oh yeah,
It was.
yeah. I didn't realize that. I knew what I thought I knew what Georgia clay and water did when it mixed together, but I didn't know it became quicksand. I was over there one time going, I'm pretty sure I'm sinking. Ugh.
Yeah, we probably were at a couple of
Yeah.
points.
But thankfully, no lightning. We were
Yeah,
good
that
that
was
day.
good. We didn't have any
Yeah.
lightning.
No.
Yeah, the so one of my instructors at my first tactical response class, he is like he was one of James Yeager's like best friends. Really good dude. He's an instructor up in Kentucky. He it was just it sprinkled just for a couple of minutes, and I'd made the comment just joking. I'm like, "Oh, class is over. It's raining." And he was like, "Oh man, I got a story for you." He said that the only time James Yeager paused the class was because they could see a tornado like several miles away, and it looked like it was coming towards them. And Steve, the guy that was telling the story, he said, and I swear to God, he said, as soon as that damn tornado made a bank turn and started going the opposite way, he said, everybody back out on the line. We're good. Get back to it.
That's dedication to a program
You
there now.
damn right it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's my man right there. That's
Yeah.
badass.
What was I
He said
telling
we ain't
you?
here. He said we ain't here to sugarcoat shit. We're here to train men.
Yeah, no kidding. what was that I told you the other day? When the weather's too bad for everybody else, it's just right for us. You know.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's up, Lawfully? How you doing, man?
Lawfully.
Yeah, that was good shit, man.
Yeah. That's
I
pretty
I tell
amazing.
you though, that's a very true statement. When you get out and train in weather like that, it just makes you that much better.
Yeah.
Like it really does. I mean,
Well, it's what you were it was what you were talking about earlier today too. In the middle of the monsoon, that it makes you understand about. You learn about positions of stuff on your kit. You learn about whether this is really necessary or not, or and then you realize too that everything becomes, I won't say that much more difficult, but it's harder, because things are slick. You got mud on you, you got things, and I mean, it's just things that you wouldn't ordinarily just shooting on a pretty sunny day that you didn't have to take into account. Just how
yeah,
much mud can you pack in a magazine,
yeah,
and it still functions.
yeah. Man, that was impressive with I know my gun, it had like a shit ton of mud up in the
Yeah,
chamber and it
yeah,
was still running. And I
yeah,
was using the Bear Creek, everybody. I wasn't using
mm,
my Daniel. I had my Daniel in the Forerunner for a backup, but man, that thing was running.
yeah. It kept a ticking.
Yeah. Oh, Don, he said, who cleaned the rifles? I finally cleaned mine for the first time today
Yeah.
after I got home.
Mine's in a corner drying. I'm gonna tackle that tomorrow if I can pick it up.
And you know, before, yours was, I don't, I don't know if it was you or not you. I don't know if it was the gun or the ammo that was having it a couple of hiccups.
Yeah.
Um, I
It
would
was probably
not,
me.
I would not blame the gun yet. I would run different
No.
ammo
Yeah.
before I said that.
Yeah.
Gave a.
Yeah.
But if it is a gun, I'd send that damn thing back to them. They will
Oh yeah.
replace it and
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah. Well, I will if it continues, or after I change ammo, I will do that.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
like
That
it.
ammo was acting weird.
Yeah, it was. It was weird. And I mean, plus, it would cycle fine, and then it would not.
Scoot said
Yeah.
when crap goes down, it's not going to be blue skies and 75.
That's
That's right, man.
yeah. That's exactly right. Yeah, I don't think they
I will
say wait till
say,
the perfect day.
yeah, yeah. Gray said 100% Scoot. Red Dome is asking what ammo and what gun.
It was the Bear Creek.
Yeah, it's a rifle just like mine.
Yeah, is cold. And the ammo was, I thought it was federal, but I think I looked at it getting in the truck, American something. I don't remember the name of it, American
Okay.
something.
I
I don't
know
know.
like that stuff I was running is Lake City. It's like M855s, like
Yeah,
military shit. That shit's
right.
high, but I tell you what, it works. I ain't had no issues out of it.
Yeah. Well, and like I say, I mean, it very well could be the ammo. I've got all kind of different ammo upstairs that I can run
Yeah.
through it and see if it doesn't happen again, we'll know, or if it does happen again, we'll know.
Yeah, I know my Daniel Defense, it don't like what is it? Shit, I can't remember it. I want to say it was like Monarchy or some kind of crazy ammo,
Yeah, yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
Like I never had an issue with it in the Palmetto States that I was shooting it through, but the Daniel didn't like it for whatever reason.
yeah,
And I don't know. I've never had a. I've just been running and then like the steel case ammo, the
yeah.
Daniel would run that shit just fine, but it wouldn't run, or the Palmetto States wouldn't run the steel case as good.
Mm,
It's like I would get either light strikes or something weird.
right.
Kind of like
It,
kind of like what we saw on yours. It looked like it just barely hit it.
right. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We had that happen today, and
Yeah.
so I don't know, but
Yeah, I
I
wonder.
would be more inclined to believe it was the ammo rather than the
Yeah, I would
gun.
too.
But
I would
uh,
too.
I
I
don't
should
know
let
it.
you run a mag of mine through it just for
Yeah,
shits and giggles.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't
Yeah,
either.
but it's I don't know. Have you ever had an
Yeah.
instance where a gun didn't run ammo uh, of a particular brand or particular kind? I was watching somebody talking about it, and they ran it through, and like after like the 500th round, everything went away. All the problems ceased, and it was kind of like, was it a break-in period? Have you ever experienced any of that?
With pistols mainly. I've seen that
Mainly,
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
gotcha.
Let's see, Rip Curl, he said even though AAC ammo is taking care of their customers, but it sounds like the 5.56 ammo has been blowing primers, cases, and even blowing up rifles and suppressors. Sheesh.
Damn.
Yeah, I've never shot the AAC rifle ammo. I actually took 1,000 rounds of the 124 grain full metal jackets to tactical response with me for a fighting pistol class. All that round ran perfectly fine. I ran it through a Glock,
Hmm.
but that's scary. That would piss me off to blow my
Boy,
gun up.
wouldn't it?
I would,
Yeah.
I'd be one
Well,
pissed off Alabama dude.
yeah. Welcome to the AR-15. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
damn. Bad Dream said Winchester had to replace my whole upper on my SLR. Hot load blew my gun up. Dang.
Mm. Wow.
Shit.
I'll stick with my misfeeds.
And Red Dawn said Monarch is pretty good stuff. Well, I hope yours is. Mine wasn't worth a shit.
Well, I was going to offer you some. I got some upstairs.
I mean, I'll run it. I'd like to run it probably through the Bear. I bet the Bear Creek will run it. That thing's been
Yeah.
running everything for me. Or I say everything that I've got. I've not got any like you have. You know,
Yeah.
bad ammo though. That's kind of like almost. I mean, that could happen to anybody probably. Any
Yeah.
hell, I've even heard of the Winchester white box shit not working, and I know every bit of that I've ever bought. It's been doing awesome. So let's
Yeah.
see. Red Dawn asked, "What was the gun doing today?" Is Bear Creek? It'd be like a dead round. It'd just be like a dead round.
And sometimes it would have the light strike of the primer, and sometimes it
Yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah. We looked at a couple of them. Yeah, I was like, damn, what'd they do? Use like a titanium primer? Shit. Tommy's Path. He said, "What's you guys' biggest weakness in prepping?" Hmm.
Up till today, the AR-15, not knowing how to run it, but
Yeah, I don't. That's a
no,
good question.
yeah,
Let's see. I mean, I know I got weaknesses. My weakness. I got you. I got you. Mine. Not growing shit. Not knowing how to garden and like do that kind of stuff. That's
yeah,
my biggest weakness. So I would say that for me.
yeah.
And Scoot said, "Don't piss off an Alabama redneck and a wife beater." That's true. That's true. You don't know
Make
what could
sure.
come next after that.
That's right. A little Tasmanian devil action.
Uh, Red Dawn said, "Yeah, that's probably the ammo. I would inspect the firing pin just to see and put it next to a couple of others." Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah,
got two of them.
yeah.
One day we need to hang out and I can show you how to do that, like disassemble your bolt and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
That'd be good to know.
yeah. I figured that'd be another class we could I could
I,
learn
I
how
would
to.
like to put it. I'd like to put it in that class. That'd be cool to put it in like at the end of it or something.
It would be. It would be.
It'd take a little bit more time, but
Yeah.
it'd probably be a good thing.
Well, it'd be worthwhile. I mean, you know.
Grace, she heard me say I suck at gardening. She said I know a gal.
Yeah.
I
And
know
that's a,
she had a picture. What was that, Grace? The tomatoes and stuff. That was looking good. Like her stuff's looking pretty good. Her gardening stuff.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
I know. It hit me after I
Yeah.
said that. I'm sorry. Her gardening stuff, guys. Are you flipping horrible, sick-minded folks on here?
Yeah.
I tell you. Sheesh.
Warriors
I knew that
everyone.
was about to swear. Yes, tomatoes in the greenhouse. Yeah, that looked pretty good. They were growing like pretty daggum quick. I guess around here we don't really need a greenhouse, do we? Don't She does it because of like the lower temperatures, right? Or I think. And then again, I may be. That's how much I know about gardening. I have really no idea. Lightning Scott. Oh, well, thank you, Lightning Scott. You're probably the only one. Well, everybody else will make fun of me if I make a open ended comment like that. Let's see, Tommy's path. I have good food storage and can hunt, but I can't grow shit or tell what's edible out there. Yes, that's another one.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
knowing what kind of stuff's edible. That would be a really good.
yeah,
And like knowing what you could use for medicine, that kind of stuff. That'd be cool.
yeah, yeah. Nothing worse than that. Is this poison oak that I'm holding in my hand? Yeah. And I'm terrible at that. Now that is a weakness of mine. Plant identification and as long as my
Yeah.
wife's around, I'm good to go with the growing stuff. But if I was on my own, I'd probably be in a bad way.
Yeah, me too. I'd be that dumbass that everybody'd make the meme about. You gonna find out today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Somebody wiping their ass with poison ivy or something.
that's right. Why is your Why is your ass so red?
Oh man.
Yeah. And I think my other weakness is mechanical stuff. I'm okay at some things, but
Yeah.
anything really too technical, then I'm out. I did learn how to replace a carburetor on a generator recently, but you know,
Did
uh,
you watch my video?
no, I didn't. I didn't. I actually had a
I actually
neighbor
got it.
teach me.
Oh, okay.
Do
That's
you
even
you
better.
have one? I
Yeah, I
didn't
actually got a
realize.
video on my channel about
Oh, okay.
it's not replacing the carburetor, but I teach or I show how to clean the jets out and stuff if it's not
Okay.
cranking.
Yeah. I remember doing that in high school, but it's been way too long.
Rip Curl said I need to get my instructor's license. What you gonna be instructing, Rip Curl? And Lawfully Armed said, how about those mothers? I am armed and ready for tomorrow. I'm ready to
Yeah,
roll.
that's right. Me
Got
too.
everything up my sleeve. And Grace said, I gotta have a greenhouse or I wouldn't get produce till August. Ooh,
Uh,
yeah, that would stink.
that would.
Well, however that works, Grace, you got it. You're doing it. You're doing a good
Yeah.
job. Or it looks like it from our end. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that'd honestly be a cool video to like. Which I know there's probably tons of videos on YouTube, but it's cool getting to see other people's setups from different areas and like how people have to do it differently up north versus down here, and That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's another one of those thought things. You know, we had some neighbors one time that we took out water skiing, and they were just so excited about being able to water ski at on the Fourth of July, and I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, we water ski in August. They were from Fargo, North Dakota, and they're like, but we still have to use wetsuits to water ski in August, and I'm like, oh, why? And they're like, well, this lake was frozen solid for, months. And I was like, oh, dang, never thought about that.
Dang. Robert
Yeah.
Ham, he had a pretty good. I didn't think about this either. Seeing the light primer strike, he said the primers could be pushed down too far.
Yeah,
He said, when they were loaded. So
could be.
that's true.
Well, I'm going to definitely try the other ammo and before I
Yeah,
pass any
that's
judgment.
what I'd do. I'd try different ammo and
Yeah.
just see. If it's doing the same thing, then now you know something's up. But
Yeah,
if it
exactly.
don't do it again, then you're like, okay, well,
Right.
probably the ammo.
Take it. Yeah.
Grace said, I can still have a greenhouse down here, just gonna need some shade cloth. Oh man,
Yeah.
this is kind of off topic, Grace, or everybody, but y'all remember saw the video I did a couple weeks ago, I guess, where I was cutting up a piece of that tree that fell. One of my Bradford pears fell.
Yeah.
Another one fell.
Jeez.
Another one. I still have my wood piles. I'm still transferring my wood to the my flipping firewood thing, and I ain't even done with that yet. And now I got one over here that fell. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Mm.
it's never ending. I'm ready to cut these things down.
Yeah.
They get so like top heavy, you know what I mean? They become like wind sails or something. It's aggravating.
Another storm take it down, or did this one just fall on its own?
Rip Curl, he was talking about the instructor license.
Oh,
Firearms and police certainly as well as civilian. Okay. I missed something. Need to get my instructor's license. Okay, that's what he was saying. Firearms
yeah.
and police. I got you. Lightning Scott, he said junk trees. Yeah, man, they were here when I bought the house, so I didn't get a choice on my trees. I'm just having to live with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Dome said try that ammo in a different gun too. I know. I wish
Yeah.
I'd have thought earlier. We could have swapped
I know. I
magazines.
could have. Yeah. Well, and
We
I
just
had that other, and I had my other rifle too. I should have brought it down there
oh
just to
yeah,
try. But,
yeah, and that's smart by the way that you did that. Brought two rifles. Anytime I go to a class, whether it's pistol or rifle, I'll always bring two,
right.
just because you never know. You never
Right.
know.
Yeah. I mean, something could happen. We could have procured a firing pin or something. You never know.
Yeah, yeah, and you ain't got time to like be dicking with it and trying to repair a rifle in the middle of a class, especially if it's a big class where there's a bunch of students.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things where you need to get up and going and get back with it. So
Yeah. No, let's all wait on the guy from Alabama. You
yeah, really,
know.
we don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, Tommy's Path. Anyone have a channel on here? I'll give a follow, dude. About everybody you're seeing in the chat does nearly. Let's see.
Yeah. You could be number 5 follower for me, Tommy.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a huge following.
yeah. Red Dome, Rip Curl, um, Grace or Grit and Grace. Um, shoot. I mean, honestly, everybody technically has a channel. Like I'm
Yeah.
subscribed to Bobby Bama here. He don't do any videos, but I'm subscribed to him. He shares a bunch of good stuff. And Robert Ham, Scoot, Warriors. We got some Warriors up in the house. That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Alpha Charlie Concepts. He says he don't have a channel. He's so full of it. He's got like the best channel on YouTube. If you want the best preparedness channel on YouTube, Alpha Charlie Concepts. There you go.
Yeah.
He's like the radio guy, the land nav guy, the rifle guy. He does it all, man. Bad Dream says he carries 2 extra bolts every time I go to a class or the range. Yeah, that's a good idea, man.
That is good.
I know over here on the wall, where's it at? I'm not touching anything, YouTube. There's no guns or anything around here. So take it easy. I'm just pointing to a wall that's like 15 feet from me. But anyway, right there where my thumb's at, that's like I think I got 2 or 3 bolt carrier groups hanging up over there. So it's always good to have extra.
Hmm.
Let's see. What'd Scoot say? If the Alabama guy's in the back of the line, he can see everybody. Oh, Scoot.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Pure Alabama humor.
Scoot said, "Don't grab the mic."
Yeah.
I know,
Don't.
man. I'm scared to touch it. I just need to leave my hands right here the whole
Yeah.
time from now on.
And get off my buttons.
Scoot. Uh, Grace said, "Working on dropping links. Please hold. Everybody, give her some patience." I
There you
know. Usually there'll be Miss Teresa or Miss Sharon. Well, I tell you what, when all three's in here, there's some links dropping in these things, y'all.
go. They're flying.
Like there's links everywhere. So anybody looking for other channels to follow and support, I'll get it right here in a minute. You can check out all these links. Well, shoot, man. You got anything else to add, or anybody
Not,
got anything?
not me. I think I've said what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I think we got it. Civilian Outpost, what's up, man? Oh, that's Red Dome. I was like, where have I heard that name before? That's Red Dome,
Oh, okay.
though. He said, "I'm so tired of YouTube screwing me."
Yeah.
Well, you got to play nice, Red Dome. You got to tone it down. You getting too real. You getting a little too real out there. You got to tone it down a little bit. We got to remember YouTube. This this ain't the platform we need to be brutally honest on.
Mm,
This is where we make our connections.
yeah.
Other like-minded good folks. Robert Ham said he'd check the gas rings, make sure they're spaced correctly. Yeah, I'd say after Bobby tries some different ammo, we'll go from there. And just kind of see what we're looking at.
Yeah.
I know you guys have definitely given some good suggestions to look into.
Yeah. And I do want to shoot that other one too, just to see. the other Bear Creek.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I would too. Yeah, I would say if like the poop hit the fan, as much as I love my Bear Creek and my PSAs, they'd probably be my loner guns, to be honest. I'd
Yeah.
probably stick with my Daniel.
Hmm.
My Daniel defense has sentimental value too, on top of a lot of value, like money wise. But it's sentimental to me.
Yeah.
I got it from my dad. I bought it from him.
Oh, okay.
Yep, 100%, Robert. You can't substitute education for experience. Yeah, Rip Curl said some of these off-brand ammos have been using some hard primers. I know that was the first comment I made today when the first time we saw that today. I was like, damn, is that some kind of like ultra hard primer or something?
Yeah.
I know the primers they use in like AK rounds or 7.62 by 39. A lot of those are like hard as shit. But I would, or I guess uh that firing or the hammer hits the firing pin a lot harder in those guns. I'm trying to keep up with you, Grace. Sharing, showing people all this stuff. What did? Well, I guess we'll say civilian outpost now. He said, "Wish I didn't have issues with my what stuff." Man, this redneck ain't picking up what you're putting down on that. They said, but everything I've gotten won't run and needs some fixing.
Yeah.
Lawfully Armed said, I love hard primers.
That's what she said.
Oh, back in the day.
Hard as a damn rock.
The primers, people. The primers is what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
Y'all get your mind out of the gutter.
Oh, yeah. Boy, look at the time.
Yeah, I hear you. Scoot said Grace is better than AI. Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
We'll take that as a compliment. Or she will. Let's
We
see.
hope.
Ah, ah, super duty builds. That sounds super. That sounds super, Rip Curl. Well, guys, I guess that's about all we got, ain't it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, shoot, guys, we're gonna get ready for Mother's Day tomorrow, just like all y'all should be getting ready for. And Grace, I think I've heard you talk about kids before. Happy early Mother's Day. And any other women that may be watching this, it's a mom. Happy Mother's Day. Happy early Mother's Day. And shoot, I guess we'll see y'all on the next one.
Yeah. I
Y'all have a good night.
appreciate everybody putting up with me tonight. So
Yeah, it's been good,
my
man.
first lot. Yeah, my first lot.
Yep. There goes Scoot. Roll the outro. He's such a smart ass. He's always
Yeah.
saying that. He knows I ain't got no outro.
No innie, no outie.
He's in Alabama.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, y'all have a good weekend. God bless, and we will see y'all on the next one.
See y'all.